Good morning. We're out here at another local trail, getting in a few miles. I think we're going to go for about 9.5 or 10. It's always a little more or less. There is a few little hills in here though. The sun popped out, so it's going to make it a nicer day. And Kim's with me again today. Hey. She's along for the hike. This is a bike trail, but anybody can use them though. I'll check back in a little bit. I thought about it and I never really did an introduction and tell you a little bit about myself. So I'm Susan. I live right outside of Pensacola, Florida, in a little community called Cantonment. Most people wouldn't know. Even if you live here, a lot of people don't really know where it's at. So, but I'm 66 years old. Hope to soon to be retiring from nursing. Been a nurse for like 33, 34 years now. But hope to go out in March before I start. I'm starting at the end of March. And I'm just going to set small goals for the AT. First one, I've already done that before anyway. Make it to Mill Gap, and then the next one Knott to the Knott, and then after that through the Smokies, and then we're just going to go from there. I don't have a lot of experience out camping by myself, but I have a lot of determination, and I like setting goals and reaching them. And my reasoning for going on the AT is I love the outside, I love hiking, and I love a challenge. The woods are nice out here today.
It's a little cool.
Yeah, it's a little cool, but the sun makes it nice. Mainly here, it's more damp than anything.
Hi, morning.
Morning.
Practicing for something?
Yep, the AT. The AT. Okay, back again. We're closing in on the first 2 miles. It's a really nice path. Hadn't been on it in a while. And it's marked well. Better than some we've been on. But my biggest concern about going on AT is resupplying. I'm gonna take 4.5 days of food with me and hope to keep that pretty much all the time, you know, when I do resupply. But with like an emergency meal bar or something along the way. I know once I get out there, I'll be able to figure it out. But if you have any tips or suggestions, you can always let me know. But I think the first hostel I stay at is going to be the Green Dragon, and I know they'll get you to town. But it's always the case of if the weather's bad or something, I may make unplanned stops. I stayed at Above the Clouds before. It was nice, but I thought I could make a few more, or at least another day out of it, without stopping quite so much. But I don't mind hiking alone. I just want to make it to the shelters at night so I'll be with a group of people. And I go back and forth on the bear bags. So I have 2 canisters, but they're both a little on the heavy side. Then I have the regular hanging bag, but now I'm ordering one of the ones you just tie to the tree that's bear certified. There's some big trees over in there that are oddly shaped. I think that's going to be my easiest out, because even though I practice and I can do the hang fairly good, but then when I come up to camp, you're tired, you can't find a tree. And I'm thinking that something like the Eurosac would work out well for me. They call this the piggyback trail. Lots of big old oak trees though. I did spend the night, the coldest night that we had a few days ago, in my tent outside, and I see I needed to make a few changes, so ordered a different pair of pants, even though I had the 250 merino wool underlayers, and some different socks, and hoping that as soon as the next cold day comes along, I can be out there again. And I did try it 2 days ago in a severe thunderstorm. I tried my tent. It held up well, stayed dry inside, even with gust of winds. Would move a little bit, but overall, it really passed the test. I have one of the Z-Pack trekking pole tents. Had a freestanding, but it was about 3.5 pounds. This Z-Pack's like 13 ounces. Because I'm still working to cut ounces and pounds just to make toting everything on your back easier. Plus climbing hills, I don't want to be thrown off balance. And I'll check back in later. There's some huge oak trees out here. This one's, the whole cavity's gone, but it's not giving up. It still wants to live. But you can see up in there, all the inside's gone. And then another big one here. There's lots of big oak trees all spread out. That's one thing we have a plentiful amount of in Pensacola's oak trees. We don't get the pretty leaf changes and stuff, but we do have big old water oaks. Everything lives so good out here, but there's no rivers or streams. There's another one. Oh, you can see. This one's really, it looks like somebody burnt it, but it's huge. It's got the pretty moss up there growing. Resurrection ferns, what they call it. But it's amazing though how strong the trees are.
These are trees like in Savannah.
Yeah. Yeah, it does remind us on a trip we took to Savannah. What was that called? Wormsaw, where it was just huge oak trees everywhere over on the coast side. Savannah, I guess, has it all though. Salt water and mountains all in one. Florida is just salt water and the beautiful white sand. It's really quiet down here today. I only passed one woman.
She asked you what you were training for.
Yeah, she asked what we were training for, and I say the AT. She said she had did it last year. But I have made a few trips up there and just do day hikes. But this year, I really went all out training for it. I started a couple of months ago. And pretty much everything I'd bought when we first started doing this, we've had to replace now for lighter, better versions. And I'm still just hanging on to all my heavier stuff for right now. But this time around, I started buying from Z-Pack, or we started buying from Z-Pack, and now we had really good customer service from them. I have the pack, the tent, trekking poles, the quilt, a bunch of odd and end little things too. I'm waiting on some new stuff to come in. As soon as it comes in, I'm gonna do a little short gear video just to share everything I found that's working for me. Or I hope that's gonna work better for me. You really won't know till you get out there on the trail. No active little squirrels or anything today though. I know they're out here. No birds either. They just stay quiet, hidden. Right now I'm trying to plan all my food ideas. I want the most bang in calories for the least amount of weight. So I'm trying to come up with different stuff for that. If you have any ideas, please just let me know. I thought for breakfast I would do oatmeal, but I'm thinking about getting powdered milk to add into that. Just for a little extra calories. The full fat powdered milk, I haven't ever ate anything like that before, but I need to try it before I get on trail to make sure I'll even like it. Lunch, I thought the wraps with some peanut butter and a couple of meat sticks maybe. And then for dinner, I do have some freeze-dried meals already that I'm going to use. Plus, I like the chicken packs with the stovetop stuffing. I did try those already. And then trail mitts for during the day at different times. And I plan on using the same fueling strategy that I do for running. For running, I take in fuel about every 3 miles, but for hiking, I'm going to take in something about every hour. just to keep your energy level up. Then I am going to take a few packs of gel just in case I feel like my sugar's dropping and I need that little boost. And then, of course, the electrolytes. I love the Element salted watermelon. So I'll be taking that every day to have a pack of that. And then water for the rest of the day. Except for, of course, my coffee. I did find some freeze-dried coffee that's super lightweight that tastes really good. I have to share that brand with some of y'all. All right, I'll check back in later. Had to make a stop to take off my jacket. And I want to introduce y'all that are following me to Gertie. She's my little black bear that I've had for 2 years now. Getting her all ready with her little flower hat and her little Appalachian Trail bandana on. And she's going to have my back. And her eyes are going to be watching everybody that's coming up behind me. And then too, this is a little thing I had gotten for hanging my pack on a tree. I think I got it from Garage Gear. Works out good because I don't really like setting my pack on the ground. But it's a Z-Pack Arc Haul 60 liter. But I just love my little bear. All right, I'll check back in a little bit. Say bye, Gertie. Okay, a little over 6 miles now. But I tripped over a root and took a little fall. All was good though, and everything stayed secure on my pack. So I gotta be really watching a little bit closer. But you take one eye off the trail, and that's what happens. Looks like a little something coming up. Some little bitty up and down. Next week I'm gonna go back to the beach and do a sand walk with my pack. That is quite a workout. Plus I strength train 3 to 4 days a week. And that seems to be helping, making me stronger, a little bit stronger. All these trees and bushes and everything keep it really nice and comfortable though down here. Now I guess we go over this. You can see it's made for them bicyclists. wooden bridge that takes you over a gully. They actually, a couple of times a year, have some big bicycle events down here where they close the whole trails off to everybody else, and it's just them here doing races. And they come from all over to do them. But if you're ever in Pensacola on vacation and you like mountain biking or trail riding, this is one that I think would be a good one. We don't have very many of them around Pensacola though. But on the weekends, it's really packed with people. All right, I'll check back in later. It's an old Pensacola News Journal paper machine out here.
Wonder when they got that out here.
I don't know. It's pretty rusted.
There's a Bucky sticker.
Yeah, a Bucky sticker's on the inside. We don't have a Bucky's near us, but we do hit over in Alabama quite often and have us a barbecue sandwich.
We should have one nice.
Yes, one about now would be good, but we're not there.
Or the chocolate peanut butter cup would be good.
Yeah. But right now, we just got to keep walking. We're a little over, we're at 792. Close to 8 miles in. Not for sure if it's really going to end at 9 or 10, but we just keep following the trail. I had no idea when I started putting videos on here on the YouTube channel that I would actually get followers, subscribers. Mainly was doing it for my few friends and family who'd be watching, and too, so that we can go back and experience it all over again. And I hope it's something we want to go back and experience again together. But it's really fun seeing people subscribe. And I like the comments I get.
Even though we ain't figured out this.
Yeah, even though we ain't figured out quite all the ins and outs. And I'm just using my phone and pretty plain and simple. Because really, I spend all my money on my hiking stuff and not so much on the filming with cameras and microphones and such. You can see the roots here on the trail. But I do have to say one thing. This is a dream of mine, and I've worked hard for it, been saving, still working 12-hour night shifts to have my trail money and stuff. So the honest thing I ask from subscribers is words of encouragement and tips on things I could do and change to make it better, and especially when I'm out there. This is like a never-ending trail, though. Not any real cutoffs or anything else. But better than wondering if I'm getting lost or not. and turned around.
Well, I hope we ain't gonna get lost and go back and do it again.
Yeah, we hope. Because 9.5, 10 miles would be enough today. Because we both worked yesterday. And like Mallory said, I'm going back tonight. But I try to use every spare moment training for this. Here we do a mile at about 20 minutes. But on the trail, I know with all the elevations and everything and changes, I hope to do a mile in 30 minutes. But I plan to start slow. I just got to hit that first shelter that's 8 miles in for my first night. Looks like somebody threw out some old stoves or something. Very old stove.
Microwave or something?
Could be. Uh-huh. I don't see how they got it all the way out here because there's no way you're going to drive. It must have been here for years and years. Okay, we're a little over 8 now. Still chugging along. I'll check back in with you when we get to the end. There's some pretty mushrooms. Look how orange they are. We hit 9 miles now. So I know we should be closing in somewhere within another little bit. There's a sign up there. It says experienced bikers only, helmet required, no foot traffic, and no skidding. And look at this high thing for bicycles. It's a big climb. I didn't mention earlier though, when I did take that fall, I had just gotten a Garmin watch. Mainly for the trip on the AT. Because before that I had an Apple Ultra. But it had to be charged like every night. So not very good. But when I went down, my Garmin watch started sending off an alarm to call for help. It was going to call for help unless I canceled it. So that was a nice feature. An unexpected one, because I guess I really didn't read a lot about Garmin. Had Garmin in the past, but then went with Apple. And it was easy, but I really like my Garmin. The 570 4Runner. It's hard to believe it's January the 5th here. As green as everything is. Nothing has died off yet. Some of this may never die off. Last year though, we experienced our first real big snow. Super deep snow. Never seen it snow like that here in Florida, in Pensacola. And I'm hoping we don't see that again. This is almost like a sandy little path. But I'll let you know when we get to the end. Y'all, almost 9.5 miles. It said it was 9.15. Now I'm looking on the sign. But
It took us 3 hours and 45 minutes.
But really, we ended up at 9.32 by my watch. But we had a good day, didn't we?
Yes.
Now,
It's always better when we get through, though.
yeah.
To me.
But training is important. Okay. We'll see y'all later.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.